Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk a little upper body form stuff, and we're going to play a nice casual round. Let's jump on in. Alright, so we are back at Spring Meadows today. We are going to talk some form stuff in terms of upper body. So I've decided I'm going to split form work and the basic stuff. I'm going to split that up into upper body and lower body. I feel like there are so many intricacies. I know I'm only really going over the very, very basics of, because it's once you start getting into the really like nitty gritty and advanced stuff, it kind of gets a little confusing, and that's where you're going to see the most change in actual form based upon how your body operates and what your body wants to do and what feels good. So we're just going to start off with the basics today. So we're at Spring Meadows, just going to play a nice little casual round. Just going to do 9. 9 seems like a pretty good number to me. Alright, so hole 3 here, basket's down over that way along the line of trees to the right. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to throw my Alpha Warbird, give this a shot, see how this goes. I caught some trees and it's fading out early. That was not the best, but man, that was really short. That was not good. Oh well, here we are. Let's go. All right, guys. So we're here again. We're gonna do another. This is gonna be the disc golf basic series again. So this one's gonna be all upper body stuff. I think upper body probably has the most moving parts to discuss. So I think we'll do that one first. That way you guys can actually have an accurate idea of how to throw a disc, and you can actually go out and implement it pretty much right away. So waist down, all the footwork stuff, you can add that. Some say you should do that before upper body stuff. That way your timing's good there and you can work up. As someone who is just getting into the sport, I think it's more valuable for you guys to know how to throw discs. That way you guys can just go out and do it. Because, I mean, that's why you're here. And I just think that's the easiest way to get people actually in the sport and actually trying the sport from day one. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so we approach my drive here. Definitely not a good drive. I'm not gonna lie, my form has been kind of off for probably like the past week or two. I played around with a couple of my buddies and I could not throw a single shot right. So it's been kind of, and that was like last week. So we're struggling a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. I am going to have to speed it up a little bit because the father and son duo that was on 2 is now behind me and finishing up 2, so I need to finish this a little bit faster. So I'm going to try a huge spike hyzer forehand over the top of these trees and try to get it down that way towards the basket. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a shot. Oh, that's over. It is very short, but it is on the right side of the trees, so we shall take that. So honestly, I probably should have really disked up for this shot, but I mean, that's what you get when you're rushed. You stop thinking and kind of just start throwing things, which is not the best way to do it, but oh well, here we are. So we are well outside the circle here, so I'm going to give this nice little jump putt bid, and we'll see if we can't get closer. Probably still be a bogey, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Oh boy, that's bad. Woo! Woo! That was not good. That was not very good at all. That was better. Get in. That was way long. Wow. Okay. Learn something new. Alright, guys. So I'm going to try to get a hole in between me and the duo behind me. That way I can kind of actually have time to talk to y'all. Wow, I'm really gonna take a 5 here. That's really bad. Oh well, first hole. All right, here we are, hole 4. Basket's gonna be over top of this bush across the little walking path road back there. So basically just throwing something up over top and trying to get on the other side of the road. Just gotta want to flex this over a little bit, let it pan back towards the basket. Oh, that's going to be really good. Okay, well, not as good as I thought. It skipped off the road, but it was decent. It was a decent shot. I'll take it anyway. All right, we are at my first drive here. Actually ended up pretty good. It kind of hit the path and flat skipped forward, so the disc might have gotten a little chewed up. Actually not too bad. It's a little bit chipped, a little bit chewed up here, and there's a little chunk out of it back here, but that's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. We actually have a pretty nice little birdie look here. No. There's a headwind, and I thought I could get it to lift, and it didn't. Well, that sucks. Ugh. That's sucky. I really wanted that birdie, man. That would have been cool. There it is. I knew the putt was in there. All right, just gonna tap in my par. There you go. So we're still 2 over through 2 now. It's not great at all, but I mean, it is what it is, you know? I'll tell you what, recording after a day of work, for some reason my brain just shuts off and I don't even know what the English language is anymore. So if I start saying some weird things, that would be why. But anyway, yeah, so we got a par there. That should really have been a birdie, as I don't get really many birdie looks. That should have been a birdie. But it is what it is, man. I don't, you know, you win some, you lose some. We have a really strong right to left happening right now, so I'm not really sure what I want to throw here, because I would like to try to actually see if I can reach down there and see if I can't get a disc actually all the way down there. But I think the curl is going to be a little too flippy. I have a glow one, which might be able to push and not get knocked down by the wind, but at the same time, I don't quite trust it. So I'm going to try throwing the Alpha Warbird, which is slightly less stable than my glow one. I'm going to see if I can't get something all the way down there. It's going to be a little bit of a pump, but we're going to give it a shot and see what we can't do. I turned it, but... Oh, that got all the way through clean. Wow, okay. I'm actually quite shocked with myself. Like, this was actually a really good shot. Like, a really, really good shot. I don't think I've ever actually been this far down the fairway before. I think the closest I've ever come to here was I was up by that, like, the soccer goal, which you can't see, it's off camera, but I got up on top of that hill, like right, a little bit shy of where I am to the right of me, is the closest I've ever gotten. And that was, to be fair, this wasn't even that good of a shot, because I hit this tree. If I got a little bit higher, I probably could have pushed farther down. So, notes for next time. All right, let's see if I can't get this birdie. That'd be really cool. Get in. Oh, I thought I had that. I'm actually kind of upset. Get in. Oh, even closer. 2 good putts, though, and we're going to take a par. Pars aren't very bad. All right, let's tap these guys in. Nah. It's fine, because the other one was the first one, so. She is still at a par. On to the next hole, where we'll actually talk about some form stuff. Finally. I know I said it earlier. So the first thing is, you need to make sure that you keep your arms out away from yourself. So, what do I mean by that? What I'm talking about is making sure that you have space from your shoulder to where your elbow is, so that you can have room for your arm to kind of be in this area. Because if you get in too tight, so like if my arm was dropped down to here and I'm trying to throw from here, A, you're not getting much power, and B, it's very hard to throw from here. As you can see, like my arm doesn't want to do things, and also holding a disc is just going to dig the disc into your side, and you're going to get no distance at all. So you want to have some room to play out here. So you're going to want to keep at like a 90 with your elbow, and you can see how you can basically see my elbow, and you really can't, like if I put a disc in my hand, and I'm going to throw, you're going to see my elbow. You're not really seeing the disc at all. Like, you might see the bottom here if I'm flashing it, but like, if I'm here, all you're seeing from your angle onto me is my elbow, and that's perfect. You want to keep the disc and everything in like a box. If you think about how it should be a box. So like if I turn to you, I have a 90 here, 90, you know, a 90 degree here. There's a 90 here as well, and the disc itself is like on my left pec essentially. So you want to kind of have this here, so that way when you come in to throw, you're hitting this spot here, and you're releasing the disc out here, so that it can eject from your hand and get spin, and then go where you're aiming. So that's going to be the first little bit there. It's kind of making sure that when you're throwing, you have this 90 kind of going on. Obviously, when you go to actually like do like a back, like what's called the backswing, which is like a reach back here, you're going to want some rotation in your shoulders, and then you're going to come through to that box, and then you're going to release here by bracing all your weight on this foot. So it's a weight transfer to here, and then the disc is going to go boop, and pop right out. All that to say, it's a lot easier said than done. As you can see, I'm not very good at it. I can explain it well, but it's very hard to do. So the next thing that would be needed to be spoken about probably would just be like where all of your body should be in relative terms to where you're throwing. So if I was just going to throw a stance, so I'm throwing in that direction, I don't want to be here. All right? All my weight's on my back foot. So if I were to have to try to throw this now, I would have to pull into me and then also try to travel sideways and then throw. And I'm not going to have any balance at all. Like, especially if I'm like way back here. I'm literally leaning on my tiptoes, but I literally just almost fell over. Because like this is not a comfortable position to be in. You want to keep yourself centered in between your legs, so that there's basically, if I were to drop an anchor point from my stomach, it would fall right in between my feet. And I'm just supposed to be kind of here, you know, knees bent on the balls of my feet, athletic, but like I'm still centered. So like here is a great position to be in, because I'm still kind of in between both. If you are throwing a standstill, you do want to brace your weight on your back foot, and then shift your weight through when you're going to throw, but you're still centered. You never ever like fully switch onto one foot and then onto the other one. We're not doing like a weird like sliding dance move. There is a weight transfer, but it's very minimal. Like I'm just changing my feet back and forth, and I'm not really moving that much. I'm not like swaying back and forth, so to speak. So it would be very quick here. You would hit into your throw, and then you would release the disc and then throw. So kind of staying centered is what you need to do. And then also, probably the last thing, the most important thing, and this is what I struggle with the most, keeping your head centered. So in a golf shot, they say you're supposed to watch the back of the ball through your entire swing. You're supposed to come up and then come down through and watch the ball through impact and let this shoulder pull you forward. A similar thing for disc golf. It's a little bit different because you're not going to have a shoulder that pushes you per se. Sometimes you will, but not always, depending on how you throw and how you learned your throw. But for me, I keep my head so that my chin is basically almost tucked into my right shoulder on my reach back. And then as I come through to throw, I'm picking a spot on the ground, like a blade of grass or something, so that I'm still keeping my head where it's supposed to be. And then as I'm going to throw, at this point the rotation has started. And then as the disc leaves my hand and I'm following through with my arm, my other arm and my shoulder will kind of push my head around. So it kind of is similar, but you're not watching the disc the entire time, because that's going to get you to do a whole bunch of bad habits like pulling your head back this way, which allows you to either lean forward in your shot to compensate for you kind of looking backwards and also trying to stay balanced, or you look backwards and then you reach too far back and now all your weight is on your back foot and you're off-centered again, so you're going to have to kind of like shift and slide forward to try to get something to happen, which is going to cause you to either hit yourself or what's called rounding, where instead of coming through on a straight line here, you're going to come through and kind of come around. So you're throwing out over here and everything is going to go right, which is what I do actually most commonly as my miss. So those are your three most important things. We'll talk some more as I'm throwing, but the duo behind me is catching up, so I got to throw quick. Okay, we are on hole 7. Basket is all the way down towards those trees between the right, far right and the middle one. It's kind of tucked back in there. I'm going to throw, I think I'm going to throw my curl out towards the right flat and see if I can't get it to let it just ride over towards the right, towards that gap. And I pushed it straight into the tree. Alright, so we are at my actual drive, my first one. I just nailed this tree. Thanks for that, tree. Boom. Alright, so right to left wind, I'm thinking, I think this would be a good chance to actually try one of my fairway drivers. So let's try the Mockingbird. I think this one's a little bit understable. So I think throwing this flat standstill will give me a chance to actually get some distance. There's some people walking and I really don't want to hit them. So the people passed. I actually changed my mind. I'm gonna throw a fairway driver, or yeah, not fairway driver. I was holding that. I'm gonna throw one of my mid ranges, and I'm gonna throw the Texas Ranger, and I'm gonna do a little mini run up, and I'm gonna throw this flat. Oh, get stable. Get stable. I don't know where that ended up. It ended up right of the tree, but I think it was stabling out and might have skipped down towards the basket, so we'll have to see when we get up there. All right, so we were at the Texas Ranger. It actually ended up shorter than I thought it was, which is kind of sad. I'm not really sure how or what I'm going to do in terms of putt here, because I'm definitely not making par from here, I don't think. There's a really high little gap there. I wonder if I could actually throw an Anheuser putt with like a lot of nose up and see if I can't just float something over. So I'm going to give that a shot. No, I got through. It wasn't good, but it was through. That was not even bad. Okay. So best result possible. All right, just gonna tap out for my 4. All right, here we are on hole 7. Quick correction, I think I called the last one hole 7. That's actually hole 6, and the one before that was 5. So if I messed those 2 up, I apologize. But we're on hole 7 now. So it is up along this walking path. You can actually see it as it kind of snakes around to the right. Just on the left of that, there's a big tree, and then just to the right of that is a little tiny yellow band you probably can see. So I'm just gonna wait for these people to continue their walk safely before I throw. But it does give us a chance to talk a little bit more about what I was going over. I kind of rushed those 3 very important things for backhand form to kind of try to get you into those positions to understand. There's a lot of more technical and more advanced things I could say to help you with those positions and getting into those positions and how it's supposed to feel and everything, but that should be enough to get you at least a solid start in trying to understand how the backhand throw goes, because it's disc golf form is something that no other sport has in terms of form. It's kind of a mixture of a lot of things. So the backhand form is kind of almost reminiscent of a tennis backhand, if you will. It's just that when you go to swing, you're already here, and you're just kind of popping to here. But like that's a good way to kind of think about how your backhand form should go. Obviously, the reach back is something a little bit weird. You really don't do this with a tennis racket and then try to come through and hit it, because you'll miss by a mile, especially at the speeds that like pros hit at. So it's a lot of here. So, but forehand actually for disc golf is very similar. I'll talk a little bit about forehand actually while I'm thinking about it. So forehand is, if any of you have played baseball and think about how an overhand pitch or overhand throw works, you kind of let your elbow come through and then you snap the ball at the end with your wrist. Forehand is very similar. Except that obviously you're throwing sidearm, as it's called. But the most important things for a sidearm are you're going to want the disc to come back a little bit, just so you kind of have some momentum. I mean, you could start from here, but it's easier if you kind of get all of this back, especially if the first thing you should really realize with the forehand is that you need to cock your wrist back, because all your spin's going to get generated here at the end when you're going to actually release and throw. You're going to, snap your wrist through. So you're going to want to cock your wrist back, and it's easier to do that when you're kind of here, because it kind of gets you some momentum backwards, so you can get some lag to come through and throw forward. Actually, this might be a really good hole to try a forehand on, just so you guys can see it. I'm going to throw this Alpha Warbird. Actually, I haven't thrown this on forehand yet, so I'm going to give this a shot. So I do a little funky walk-up. We'll talk about footwork and stuff later. We'll do that in a separate video, because that in itself can be a little confusing. So we're going to just do a nice little walk-up, and I'm going to show you the forehand. So really focus on what my right arm is doing, because that's really what's going to throw the disc. You can talk about how to get momentum and stuff later and the coil that's involved, but just kind of watch what my arm's doing, and we'll start from there. I need to sit down. Okay, it stayed out of the woods. Which that was a really good forehand for me. I wanted to get it turned a little bit more, but that's okay. I'm also going to throw a backhand, because actually that's the shot I really did want to throw, was a backhand. But you could see from that forehand, it was okay. It was decent. My forehand's not the best by any means, but the tips are still the same. Let's put it that way. So I'm actually gonna throw the alpha curl here. I'm gonna throw it on backhand, probably towards that second tree, flat, and hope it turns a little bit and kind of has a chance to fight out towards the basket. I would love to park this hole for once. I've never actually done it yet, but I know I can. I can get my shots up there. It's just actually getting them towards, in the direction of the basket. I was low, but that's the right idea. Fight out. Man, I think it's basket high. That was low. It was the right idea. I didn't throw it as wide as I wanted it to. Because I would have probably fought out and actually at the basket. It's a little bit right and almost on the walking path. But, I mean, overall, it did what I wanted it to do, which is good. So as I'm walking here, there is one thing I do want to clarify. You truly do not need to have a reach back for your forearm. I said that because truly to actually get distance, you probably would like a little bit of reach back because it gets you momentum, it gets everything kind of moving in the right direction, and it helps me with timing, it helps setting up everything and actually getting the snap through that I want when I'm finishing my actual swing forward. But you can throw a forehand from your hip with like very minimal effort and a lot of like what I'll call upshots towards the basket that are a lot shorter. I do forehand little upshots, and I'll basically just take it and just kind of turn my wrist back and then just and pop it forward. This doesn't take a lot of effort, truly, to get a disc to kind of spin forward. But for distance, you're probably going to want to do a little bit of a reach back and kind of swing it forward and kind of really make sure you hit that, like wherever you're aiming, you really kind of reach for and snap towards that spot. All right, here we are at my first drive. This is the forehand that I showed you guys. Honestly, not too bad. It's probably about like 80 short, which if I would have actually gotten this turned over like I wanted it to be, I probably could have pushed it farther and been actually a lot closer. But this was on pure hyzer line and it never really deviated from that, which is fine. I'm still working on mine. Actually, you know what? I just talked about it, so I'm going to show it to you guys. We're going to do a little tiny forehand upshot. All right? So I don't know how well I'm in frame here, but the basket, I could possibly jump putt this, but I'm also running uphill a little bit, so it'd probably be really hard to actually get amount of spin and power behind it. So this might be a really good option. Just take a little tiny, get the bug. Just take a little tiny flick. So I'm not even going to do a full reach back like I was doing earlier with the run up. I'm literally just going to stand here, and I'm just going to kind of reach and do one of these. So just kind of flicking my forearm and my wrist backward, and then just popping through. That's literally all I'm going to do. There you go. Honestly, as simple as that. All right, here we are at my first upshot with the armadillo. The armadillo. Really good. Honestly, it was a really good upshot. Curled in nicely. A really nice, easy, just a little tap in, par putt. All right, so we didn't do a score update on the last hole because I was busy talking about forehand and all that lovely sundry things. So we currently are 3 over through what would be 4. We started on 3, double, par, bogey on 6, par on 7. Yes, so we are 5. 6. Yes, 5. We are 4 over through 5. 3 over, 4 over, 3 over, 3 over through 5. Score. I'm at a score. I don't know. I'll count it up later. Yeah, I'll put a little thing somewhere around here. All right, here we go. Doesn't matter. I'm throwing the disc. Okay, here we go. And I did into those trees. Well, I did get to flip up. Okay, here we are at my Mockingbird. So this, I yanked it right like my normal miss is, and I actually got it to on hyzer and actually started to flip up a little bit. So there's hope for that line at some point. We're still a ways away, like a ways away. So I am going to try, fudge. I'm gonna throw my lariat because this thing is insanely cool. This was one of the shots that I included in my last basics video. That went very, very far in that little montage I made of me throwing. So I'm going to see how this thing handles a forehand, and I'm going to try to throw this flat and see if I can't get just to kind of travel down there. I'm going to do a little standstill one too, because I don't really think I need to run up for this. I pulled over on a little bit. That just needs to sit down. That's actually really good. I was a little close to pushing the woods too far back behind the basket. But all in all, it's actually a really good shot. All right, so my intuition was right. I did push the back line of trees a little too close to, I'm not in the trees per se, like I'm not in the woods, but I am on the very edge. You probably can see it from there. So I got very close, but overall, all in all, like actually pretty decent. Oh, you son of a bitch. Idiot. I got scared of hitting my hand on the plant. Stupid. Well, that just went from a par to a bogey, so now I am 4 over through 6. Not good. Alright, so here we are at hole 9. I'm going to try to get down there. I've never done it yet. Like, I'm trying to get across the road towards where the basket is, because it's very far down there. I'm going to throw the alpha curl, and I'm going to throw it flat and a little bit higher, almost towards the field goal post, and see if I can't get it to turn. So we'll see what happens. Oh, I went through it low. Well, that's a shame. It's a real shame. Alright, so we're at my first drive. I burnt this straight into the ground. It kind of sucks, because it was actually on a really good line, but it is what it is. We take what we can get. Boom, there you go. Okay, so we're still pretty far out. I think I'm going to do another mid-range shot here. I think I'm going to take the Texas Ranger again, and I'm just going to kind of throw it flat, and hopefully it actually kind of holds up better this time. This last time I kind of faded right. I'm going to try to hit this as flat as possible and see if I can't get it to kind of just stay straight at the basket here. Nope. Too much hyzer right at the tree. Alright, I made it to my Texas Ranger. I threw another shot with the BB6 that ended up way better. So that's actually behind the basket by a little bit, so not too bad. So I got this tree in my way pretty directly. So I am not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to throw, I'm going to throw a forehand high with anhyzer, so on like more of like a cut angle, if you will, and try to like see if I can't just like float something up. I pushed it a lot, and I also threw that way too hard. Alright, so I'm going to leave you guys back there. I'm going to go make my putt. That's where my BB6 ended up over here. That went off to my right, which honestly, it's not too bad. It's actually a really good shot from back there, so beautiful. So again, not bad. I could mark this. I'm not going to. I still have 2 holes to finish, so I got to kind of get moving here. Good putt. Oh, I pulled it. That was stupid. I think I'm figuring something out with my putting. I feel like I'm right on the cusp of figuring out my putting. Like, we're like right there. Alright guys, so we're finally here at hole 1. Man, that took a while. Holy mackerel. Okay, so we're here. Basket's down there. I'm going to throw a backhand with my curl, and I'm going to leave it hopefully on the left side of this road. And I'm going to have it try to travel right as it flies to see if I can't get kind of down towards the basket. That would be the ideal situation. Though I am going to take a minute while I'm waiting for these ladies to pass. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you've been showing me. One of my YouTube shorts is at over 1,000 views, which is nuts. So thank you guys so much for all the support you guys are showing. All the people who have subbed so far, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Anyone who's viewed any of my video in any fashion whatsoever, or gave it a like or subscribe, whatever, thank you guys so much. Love all of you. If you're not subscribed though, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, I think I'm a pretty entertaining guy. I'm not good at disc golf, but that's okay. I do what I can. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. Love y'all. Alright, now that sappy stuff is over, and those ladies have passed walking, I am going to throw this shot now. That was low again. Oh, it was doing what I wanted it to do too. You've got to be kidding me. Wow. Dude, I'm trash today. Alright, what do I want to throw here? Let's do a little backhand upshot with the armadillo, because I should probably practice these, because I don't. ever. And I overcommitted and it's long. Actually, it's not that bad. Alright, here we are at the first upshot. Don't mind me. I'm just collecting my discs. My many discs of shame and sadness. We are here. We've done it. We've made it. Almost. We still have one more hole to play left. You guys thought I was going to say we're done. No, not even close. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why? Why do I suck at putting so much? Maybe that will be my new series. Maybe I'll just do a whole series of me doing putting. Again, this is close to figuring it out, guys. Let me tell you what. As soon as I figure it out, it'll be figured. And I'll be out. Alright guys, we made it. This is the last hole now. Now we are on the last hole. So, I am going to throw my alpha curl again, because I'm really digging this for my actual, like, workhorse distance, but not max distance, but like easy distance driver. So like I'm really liking the curl. It's very nice. Very nice. So for certain I'm excited to get this going. So let's finish this strong. I want to finish this round strong. That is the best shot I've thrown all night. Holy crap, that's up there. All right, so we're at my drive, and honestly, this is one of my best drives I've ever had on this hole. I mean, I'm usually in that ditch or back another probably like 50, 60 feet. And we're just gonna take a little, and there she be. That was a little short. All right, guys, here we are at my first upshot. The second upshot's actually even closer. It didn't even make it down in the basket, but it's like 5 feet away. If that. Actually, it might be exact on like 5 to 6 feet away. But, I mean, we're not too bad ourselves. We're probably about, what, like 10, 15? So. Wow. I barely made that, but I made that. That's a bird. All right. There you go. Nope, that was even lower. Pretend I didn't put the last one. Okay, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Wow. I just blanked out on what I was going to say. All right. Pretend I just put it again. Ha! Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I post stuff like this all the time. I'm trying to get down to weekly stuff. Words are really hard. Just stick with me here. I'm losing the light, so I'm trying to finish up fast. I usually post weekly. At least I'm trying to post weekly. Now that work isn't as busy anymore, I actually have time to edit and things like that after my day and during my day. So hopefully it's going to be more weekly uploads. I'm going to start posting more shorts as well, just so I have actual interaction with you guys, and I'm constantly uploading things. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please continue to subscribe and like, leave comments about things you want to see, things you guys are really excited about. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have shown so far. I'm really enjoying posting content. I'm really enjoying making content. It's very fun. I have some really cool ideas coming up. Thank you guys very much. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out. Love y'all.